The Social Season 11. It's been such a phenomenal year, with so many milestones. We started the season with Andrea Bain joining us as our new co-host, and together we all won our very first Canadian Screen Award in the Best Host category. Some glam shots here, please? Thanks. We also had countless show-stopping fashion moments, like Andrea's gorgeous Halloween look, or my original Met Gala ensemble, designed by moi. Mel and Sin had a hard time catching up, but I guess they looked okay. And we had the pleasure of speaking with a number of celebrities who delighted us in and out of the studio. Not to mention the award-winning sheep who decided to have a bathroom break on live TV. Relatable, no? In short, my friends, it's been a blast. So we're gonna take you on a trip down memory lane today with our very special episode, The Social, Season 11 in Review.
To the Social Season in Review. So we've got a really special episode for you today. We are looking back at our favorite moments, guests, and conversations from Season 11. So we're gonna kick things off with some of our favorite chats. And this season, the conversation turned to bugs. Our guest chair, Julie Black, had some decisive thoughts. Take a look.
If you get squirmy when you see insects with many, many legs, you might want to look away because I want to introduce a viral trend. Bug influencers. What on God's green earth is that? These are mostly women showing off their creepy crawly pets on TikTok to spread the message that these are pets, not pests.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Oh my God, but her makeup is really good.
That's the thing, the makeup all looks really good makeup.
No, don't encourage this.
I love it. I love it.
You know, okay, honestly, my first thought,
madness.
insects have been on the planet for 350 million years. 2 billion people around the world eat insects as protein.
Yeah.
Entomologists study for years in universities, getting their doctorate. Nobody cares. A girl with some nice glasses and a lip gloss with a bug in her face. We're all like, oh my God, it's ridiculous. Bugs are amazing. Bugs are so cool.
Oh my God.
If I was an entomologist, I would light my degree on fire and go, what's the point?
Stop
Y'all
it.
are crazy.
Stop.
Julie over here, Julie goes, it's clout chasing.
I don't know all the bug influencers, but I know me that some black people ain't putting no bug on their face, you know? Okay, talking about we look cute.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not
No,
doing
but
that.
they're learning about the cycle
Learning
of life.
about-
When one cockroach eats another cockroach, they're just considering.
Sure.
So you're calling the TikToker a cockroach?
No,
the actual cockroach.
No. No, seriously, it's too much. It's too extra. People are able to monetize foolishness.
Okay, so how much money would it take for me to put a bug on you for you to take a picture?
How much money?
Yeah, everybody's got a number.
Listen, Bell Media can't pay you or me or the panel enough. Okay?
I have to step
You
in.
have to cash in your RSPs, cash in your
I'd just like to say that they might be able to pay me. You want to? I'm actually not afraid of bugs.
Inheritance, sell your gold, sell your husband, everything.
I will
Not
say
happening.
this, and I don't know if I'm just saying this representing for all the other farm kids out there, you were raised with bugs. It was just kind of part of
No,
life.
let me say this representing all the hood kids out there.
Yes.
We were raised with bugs. And them bugs in the hood is not going on our face.
I'm just saying, I just want to say, ecosystems need bugs. Can I just slide that in there? We actually need bugs. We actually need them.
So government housing is the ecosystem?
No, that's not part of the ecosystem
Okay,
I'm talking
because
about.
you can
Get them
have
out of
them
there.
cockroaches.
Get them out of there.
Get them out.
I'm just saying.
Right away.
Hilarious.
Farm girl, hood girl, let's go.
We never know where the show's gonna go. That's the best part of it.
It's always such a pleasure to have Julie on the show. One of my favorite guests this season was actress and comedian Michelle Buteau. I absolutely adore her. She gave us some things to think about, though.
We all have times we feel confident and times when we feel not so great about ourselves. And speaking recently to the Lady Gang podcast, Demi Lovato reveals she's most confident when having sex. Lovato says she feels so present and she isn't thinking about things that cloud her judgment throughout the day. So, Naomi.
That's the woman brought up by a British lady. Go on.
Do you also feel very confident during sex?
I'll say that there are times for confident sex and not like in my earlier sex days. That sounds wrong, but it's. I'm using it. But like I was not confident about like my sweaty hands and my breath, and then now I'm married. Like we're just fine.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Gotcha.
It's like I'm most confident when I'm I'm an improviser.
Yeah.
And so that to me is like
Do
confidence.
you improvise during sex?
Ooh. Sure I do. Is there a script? I didn't know there was a script.
I just feel like that could be the best of both worlds.
But like good improv is like good sex. Like if it's really, really good, it's like magic. Everybody's having a good time. If it's bad, it's super awkward. And plus there's a bunch of people watching you. It's super, it's not great. It's not great.
I always think it's like pizza. Like sex is like pizza. There's times when it's really good, like fresh out of the oven, it's great. But even when it's cold and 3 days old, it's still not bad.
Not so bad.
It's not bad.
I like that.
It's not bad. I think for me, moving away from sex for a second, to me, I'm 46. I'm talking all about like, I'm trying to grab perimenopause by the horns right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make this wild ride an empowering experience. I'm trying. It's not working that great yet.
I feel it though.
But one of my things in my journey has been, I don't know if you guys have been on this, but there's a lot of research going on now about women and us following our cycle. And when our hormones are at different levels, you've got different things happening. And for me, I am most confident the first day of my period. I know all the remotes just went click. And you know what? Stick with me here. My hormones are firing. I've got mental clarity. I've got energy. I've got confidence. It's when I'm most creative. It's when I'm calling my agent and I'm like, we gotta take over the world. And then the week before my period, I just wanna crawl back into my cave and nobody talk to me and I just wanna eat a lot of carbs, right? So that's not the time for my confidence, but right now, as we speak, guys, I'm sharing everything on national television. I am feeling great.
Watch out, get out of there.
You know what? I think that was so powerful. You just freed up so many women right now, truly, for just like owning the night. I love that for you. But getting back to Demi, I don't got to know that girl. It's a TMI. You know what? And I'm a truth teller. That's how I pay my taxes. But that's a lot, Demi. Put it in a song.
Yeah.
I think she did. But put it in more songs. Because it's like, really? Because then I got to think about you doing it. And it's just like...
I mean, that works for some people.
Yeah. Yes, but not for me. Let's be honest. Hi, Jason Momoa. I am just saying. I mean, like, I'm here. I'm here to talk about it, but I just feel like Demi.
So what makes you feel the most powerful?
Ooh, a clean kitchen. No line at the nail shop.
Okay.
Yeah, those are real things.
Oh my God, white dress with no stains.
No, that's it.
Look out! Look out! It's coming true. I'm a woman.
The show's still early. We can mess this up at any moment.
When we get back, what did Cynthia say to Shaggy to have him react like this?
Welcome back. We are looking back at some of our favorite chats from season 11, and my pick is definitely this conversation about sex and cheating with Shaggy.
Is it okay to cheat if your partner doesn't have sex with you? No! A man wrote to Toronto Star's advice columnist saying he's living a perfect life, except he hasn't had sex with his wife in 2 years. All right? And he says he's tried everything and is thinking of cheating. So is cheating okay here?
Ooh. Yeah, let's think about it. Yeah. No, it's not okay. This guy went from 0 to 100. He says he did everything. He tried to romance her. He lost a few pounds, but he didn't have the guts, because it's a delicate conversation, to be, my love, is this something that you even want to remedy? Like, maybe everything's fine in your books. Do you even see this as a problem? He jumped right to writing to an advice columnist in a newspaper. Say, can you tell me it's okay to cheat on my wife? I love her. Like, you gotta do the hard work first, bud.
Yes.
I hear you, and you hit the nail on the head in the sense that there's a communication, there's guessing here. Like, I wonder if he even said to her, like, listen, is it intercourse? Because there are other courses in the buffet of
To get up to that mountaintop, Cynthia. talk about it.
You might prefer.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm curious about that too. But I will say, I for a second was reading this and I was imagining if the genders were reversed. If this was a woman who was complaining that my husband never touches me, my husband never pays attention to me, my husband hasn't given me an orgasm in ages. I wonder if the entire audience would have had a different reaction when we said, is it okay to find someone else?
I don't know. I know why. You know what? The audience probably, I would have had a different reaction. But here's the bottom line. This is actually more normal than we all like to admit out loud.
Yeah.
This couple has been married for 10 years. They have 2 kids, so presumably under age 10. So it is so normal for so many couples. You know this. You get married. If you have children, you know what that physically does to our body. You know what that does to our brain. Now she's got 2 kids. Maybe she's working. She's got households. She's got mouths to feed. She's got
A
mental
dry
health.
vagina.
She's got a dry vagina. Okay? It's true. Sorry, Shaggy. Sorry, Shaggy.
Not a dry vagina.
Can't have that now.
Right?
It's not a good look.
Here's what I'm going to say. If he's watching this show, here is how you're going to maybe start on the road of maybe getting your wife interested in sex again. Take everything off her plate. Take everything. Sex, we know this. Sex is not what's happening here. It's what's happening up in here. This guy, do the laundry, take the kids to school, clean the house, clean the toilets, send her off on a solo trip, maybe send her off on a girls' trip. Start to do things so she can recharge her batteries, reconnect with herself as a woman, not as a mother, not as your wife, as a woman, and things may change.
So buy some lube as well. Anyways.
Would you like me to move on?
No. Listen, my thing is, if you have to ask, then it's probably wrong.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, if you're writing to a column and you're asking, then that's red flag. You should know that ain't it. You know what I mean?
Red flag number 1.
If you're having a conversation with your significant and then you all have an agreement or something like that, it's a different situation. What he's doing right now is stepping out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're trying to get validation from somebody else and say, well, you know, it must feel okay then. You know, No, you know what I mean? If you got to ask, then it's wrong. You should have that moral compass.
Yeah. Good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Okay, let's move on.
And that's coming from the guy that said it wasn't me, all right?
Moving on from sex to living on the moon. We had retired astronaut Chris Hatfield on the show, and he told us everything we ever wanted to know about space.
According to the New York Times, NASA is planning to build houses on the moon through 3D printing by 2040. This is wild. Is it something that we should be doing, Chris?
Why did you go to him first?
Because I don't know if you missed this, but I kind of picked a fight with Chris earlier, so I'm going to behave myself.
Yeah, it seems crazy, seems impossible, but just think about it. You know, we're in Toronto right now. We could not live in Toronto without technology. We just take it for granted that you know, we have shelter and we have a way of preserving food and we've invented how to make clothing to keep us warm and we can heat our buildings. Without that, you could not survive a winter in Toronto. And up until about 100 years ago, nobody could live in Antarctica because our technology wasn't good enough, and it would, you know, be deathly. But now thousands of people live at McMurdo, and 100 people live at the South Pole of the world year-round, including Canadians. And so, if our technology is good enough, then that's the only real limitation on where we choose to live.
I have a question for you.
So the moon is next.
The moon is next, but I saw what you look like when you returned from the International Space Station.
Did you just snort? Is that what just happened?
Remind the audience again how long you were orbiting Earth.
Half a year.
Half a year.
Wow.
And I mean, I would like to say, I mean, you weren't at your prime health when you got off of that because space wasn't made for us to live there. And you had to rehab, you had to, and now look at you, you're looking fabulous, everything's back. But like 6 months
orbiting the Earth is not, even a couple of months living on the moon. P.S. No gravity there. There's no gravity.
Oh, no, there is gravity on the moon.
So how are we supposed to live, though?
Well, no, but we've been living in space for the last 23 years, almost exactly. So, I mean, if we can live in Toronto, and we can live in Antarctica, and we can live on the space station, where people have been living for decades already, the moon is just the next step. The moon actually has about 1/6 the same gravity as we have right now. So you'd be able to, jump higher. You wouldn't have to lift weights as much. It's kind of a nice, gentle environment to live in. So that's not really the limitation. It's just another place that humans can live.
And I'm going to tell you why. Yes. Do we deserve the moon? I just did a quick Google search, because I read this somewhere, but I wanted to get the number.
Okay, all right.
Which means for sure it's right.
Yeah.
We have already left 500,000 pounds of space junk as litter on the moon. We have already ruined this Earth.
Yeah.
We don't even live at the moon. We're already littering up there. Do we even deserve the opportunity to live up there?
500,000 pounds?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe it.
Wow, I love this.
Let me tell you where it came from.
Okay, what do you think the number is closer to?
However, how big is the moon if you laid it out on the Earth?
Oh, it's not very big, is it?
It's bigger than Africa.
Yeah, that number was from NASA.
So
it's bigger than Africa. If you laid out, if you lay out the map of Canada, if you laid out the map of the moon on the Earth, it would be bigger than Africa. It's huge. And it's a completely...
But we're going to ruin it.
Yeah, but I hear
what does ruin it mean? There's no life there. It is an untapped resource. If we want to have a good quality of human life, then that takes food, and it takes belt buckles, and it takes, all the things that we need, metal and clothing. It has to come from somewhere. And if we're going to dig it out of places where we live, then it's a huge disruption to life. But if we can get it from somewhere where there is zero life, where we're not disrupting any ecosystem at all, to me, that's really attractive. And we have just literally scratched the surface of the moon, just in a few places where the very few people have gone to. So imagine if we just discovered a continent on Earth bigger than Africa, where there was nothing living at all. What would we do with that continent?
Colonize.
Yeah.
Well, but it would become a tremendous resource. But the question is, how do we make it sustainable? How do we be more responsible in how we settle in different places? If we're going to peak out at 10 billion human beings, how do we do that in a sustainable way?
Yeah.
It's not the work week that's the big question, or habitats on the moon. Our huge quest as the adults that are alive right now is, how do we develop the technologies and the society that allows us to feed and take care of each other in a sustainable way for the indefinite future? That's what we need to do, and the moon's just part of that.
Wow. After the break, we'll look back at some of Jess's greatest adventures in the field and in the kitchen. We're back in 3 minutes.
Coming up, a look back at the 5-star dishes I made for the hosts in my Instagram series, Caftans in the Kitchen, including a little surprise I cooked up for Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and director Sean Levy. I'd say they left hungry for more.
Welcome back, everybody. As much as I enjoy our daily chats, I'm also extremely proud of the culinary skills I display on our bi-weekly Instagram Live, Caftans in the Kitchen. And you guys get to enjoy my creations.
Yeah, you mean like that mac and cheese that you blew our minds with?
My family origin, so my grandmother used to grow corn, onions, and tomatoes, and would can it all in the winter. And then it just became a great cheap meal, because back then cheese was very, very cheap. It was a cheap, cheap protein. So it was stuff she always had in the house, and heating it up in the winter also served to heat the house, right? Because you have the stove on, so you can...
Well, with that story, Jess, we can't say anything bad.
What do you think? No, Simon was making...
It tastes like pizza.
It tastes like pizza, guys!
It tastes like pizza.
Yeah. Simon was making fun of it last night. He truly was.
Okay, but you made this for him like 20 years ago.
That's right. It's the first dish I ever made for Simon 20 years ago, probably almost as a test. So, you know, like to see...
You were testing him?
Yeah, like to see what
to
he
see
would
how much
like
he loved you?
And he said, it's just... Yeah, it tastes like pizza.
Before we started, we were joking, because I'm like, you know, what's the secret ingredient? And I saw you putting out the tomatoes, and I was like, you know what? I'm wishing you all the best, because we have some mac and cheese aficionados here in the front row wearing all pink. Because black people, we don't mess with our mac and cheese.
You get that wrong, you will never be invited
So
again.
what goes in your what goes in your mac and cheese?
About 4 to 5 different cheeses.
Yeah.
We layer and we bake. The onions and the corn is an interesting choice, but we don't usually use that. And it's usually like a protein, like a ribs smothered in barbecue sauce that's on the side of it.
So this isn't the main dish. This is the side.
And usually when we fork it, when we pull out, there's like cheese is just being. There's a whole string of cheese. So it's. But
It sounds delicious, actually.
Oh, I love these cultural lessons with our food, right?
Yeah.
This is how we build understanding.
Yeah.
Food.
We build bridges.
We build bridges.
And we become friends.
Are we flirting right now?
There was also that lemon meringue pie that wasn't exactly a hit. You're gonna dig in. You have thoughts already,
I
right?
do. You know what? I'm really excited. This was my Nana's recipe. I will say. Wait a minute. Can we give even more? This was also the
version of this pie was the one that landed you on MasterChef Canada as well. So
It's
carry
true.
on.
It's true.
Carry on.
I think we need a soup ladle for this one.
Do we have a soup ladle?
Do we have a ladle?
Soup
Anybody have
ladle?
a soup ladle? No?
This is, I think it's actually soup pie.
It's yeah.
Thank you very much. We're gonna need spoons. Thank you. Ladies, can you pass with a spoon? Thank you.
Thank you for the spoon. You knew.
You're welcome.
Mary, like I obviously intended to make it soup pie, but if I didn't want it to be like a soup pie, what do you think I would have done differently?
So, my main tip, anytime you are doing a recipe for the first time, is to read the recipe fully. And Jess would have seen that this pie only goes into the oven for 5 minutes. That crust, once that crust is cooked, which the crust is beautiful.
The crust blew my mind.
Wizard. Like, oh my gosh, Flake City.
Who's that one for?
Yeah.
Andrew? Oh, sure, please. The biggest slice you can. Thank you.
So you need to actually cook the curd or the filling fully on the stove because it only goes into the oven for 5 minutes to get this. Your meringue is stunning as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is very kind of you.
It's very good.
Maybe just some of my creations are ahead of their time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so why don't we look to some of your editorial creations in the field? Now, at one point, you decided to explore what it takes to host an infomercial. The results were interesting, to say the least.
These are deals of steel. What are we waiting for? This first deal is gonna make your credit card sweat more than your Uncle Dean does on Taco Tuesday. I kid you not. It is incredible. Creme de la Femme Youth Elixir. What does it smell like? Money. Smell that. Luxury. It's absolutely golden. How does it work? I know that's what you're asking. You're like, hey, that looks purple. It is purple. Why? For even distribution. Don't worry, it dries clear, for crying out loud. It dries clear. Imagine. It dries clear. See how we can see the distribution? Whoop, right? Whoop. She can be a little baby when she's done. Because she's already so young to start. What time is it? It's baller time! Who doesn't need some balls right now, this time of year in their life? I have this exercise ball in every room in my home. How else do I have this core strength? Look at that. Oh, you're typing, you're chopping vegetables, whatever you need, this is going to deliver. Cut to the baby face, cut. Okay. That's all the time we have for today, but I promise you, more deals of steel tomorrow. Bye, y'all.
This was definitely some of my best work, if I do say so myself. But I think this season's personal highlight was sitting down for a serious chat with some up-and-coming actors from Deadpool and Wolverine.
Bess writes, I really want to get my first tattoo this summer. I'm a real MCU, that's Marvel's Cinematic Universe, fan, and have it narrowed down to Deadpool or Wolverine. How do I decide? This is tough. This is existential.
That's a tough one. Well, Deadpool has a more, I think, a more sort of distinct like logo.
Yes.
Like it's a very easy thing. You're, oh yeah, Deadpool. He though has like something, like when he's at a premiere or something, he's flashing the gang signs. I don't know what it is.
You do
this
have
thing.
that
I don't have that. So
You
he's
don't
like,
have a
and they're all,
he's
everyone
got
does
the
it back.
things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Plus
I don't
the
have
mask.
that.
It's true, a little easier with the mask. Like, yeah, it's probably less painful to get the Deadpool one.
One of your cameramen has a Batman tattoo right there.
That's
I know.
incredible.
There it is.
That looks
That is gorgeous.
And
And
a
the Deadpool
shirt.
T-shirt.
That's a-
Okay, we're getting MCU DC confusion over here to our left.
One bit of
Don't worry,
Wolverine.
guys.
Your
Whatever.
cameraman's throwing us off our game right now.
Well, I'm gonna throw you back on your
Okay,
game.
what are we doing?
Because the joke's on you. I'm Beth, and I got them both.
What?
Hey, yeah.
What?
I got them both. They're still a little.
You have very athletic legs,
They're-
by the way.
Wow.
I'm not
Thank
joking.
you.
Like, that's good
They're
musculature.
still a little raw.
Okay.
They're healing, but they were 2 for 1.
I did not see this coming.
I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, and you look very youthful.
That
I do look
good,
youthful.
huh?
That is a great look.
Okay.
Oh my
Which was more
God.
painful?
I love that the close-up here.
Which was more
He's trying to get
This one was done after hours, so I feel like the artiste
Is that like
might
the
have gotten a little
bargain?
slut-
The
Yes.
bargain? Okay, yeah.
This
Could've
it
gone a
was
little
2 for 1.
darker,
This
maybe.
one I paid for. This one was free.
Okay, threw that one in.
And
Hey, listen.
breakaway pants. I have not seen a pair of
Everything
breakaway
about
pants.
that is a
Listen,
win.
Thank you.
Yeah,
This
no,
is-
I mean,
this is
pleasure.
meaningful.
Big win.
So we have to take a quick break. We've got a lot more magic from season 11 to unpack like a strip show. I mean, whatever. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Coming up, unforgettable moments with special guests that had our hearts racing. And the day Cynthia fell head over heels for me and my smooth moves. I mean, who can blame her?
Welcome back. Listen, it is time to turn up the heat and throw back to one of my favorite segments this season, Magic Men Australia.
You are a trifecta. You are hot, successful, and rich. So what's it like dating you? Like, if I ask
Do you want to go on a date? Is that what
Don't trick me with a good time, because I will show up. Don't. But what's it like? Like, do you show up like this, or are you just like more subdued? What's it like dating you? Walk us through it slowly.
I like the pictures. Yeah, that's how I show up after the date. No, it's always the #1 most asked question. There was actually a funny article in the New York Post that they did about me where it was like a trend on TikTok where people were talking about names that people had said when they were having fun after the date and people calling out the wrong names. And someone said, I turned it into like someone calling me Channing during that. So they actually wrote a whole article about it. Yeah.
Oh, that really happened?
It actually happened, yeah. It was in the New York Post. Yeah.
It happened to like a woman.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Well, you know, sometimes they like to live out that fantasy.
Okay. So you're on, as you mentioned, a world tour right now with your strip show, Magic Men Australia. So tell people what they can expect.
I could give you a little teaser if you'd like.
I'm just a bachelor. I'm looking for a partner, someone who knows how to ride.
Thank you. If you've never known what a hot flash feels like, you're welcome.
Well, that was a spicy segment for sure. But Jess, do you remember when we had our very own little spicy moment when we had an intimacy coordinator on the show? If you don't remember, let's take a look.
So I think it's time you show us, Maria, what's in your toolkit to help get these intimacy scenes looking real. So show us your toolkit.
All right. Not a lot of guesswork to understand what these would be for. That is a type of modesty garment that we put, obviously, nipple covers for somebody to wear. We have to always think about the fact that, yes, there's what's on screen, captured for on screen, but there's also the room that you're in and you can see it for yourself. We have all our professionals here working with us. So we take that into consideration when we're thinking about what might we be asking someone to do. This would be a similar thing, you know, different skin tones. So we could use this type of thing or these type of things where we want the illusion of a frontal nudity, but we're only going to shoot from the back. So in that instance, what we're going to have is breasts covered or nipples covered, but shooting that from the back, we're going to have an implied nudity at the front.
With the next props, we're just going to incorporate them because Jess and I are going to do a little scene together, and I think you have a couple of props you're going to pass over. Is this going to be a daytime-friendly scenario? Guys, don't get the scenario that we have here, though, that we've come up with is we're two teens hanging out in a rec room. It might be in the 80s because otherwise we'd be scrolling our phones. Anyway, you're going to first show us how body language plays a huge role in storytelling. So start scene now.
Yeah, we're not into each other.
So part of how we can tell they're not into each other, their legs are crossed away from each other, disinterested expression. Cynthia's shoulder is angled away from her scene partner. She's not even looking at each other. There's no eye contact.
But something has changed because I feel like I've just smelled his cologne and I'm thinking that there's something else that's happening. You might have said something that was kind of interesting to me, so...
Is this good? Okay. So things have changed here, friends.
Can you pass over a prop? Can you pass a prop?
That one.
Okay.
Because I gotta go. My dad called. I gotta get the car back.
Okay. So.
But I think I kind of want a goodbye kiss.
Okay. All right.
So we put this like so, correct?
Yes. Let's see what's happening here.
None of the bits are touching.
None of the bits are touching. They've got a good separation.
How do we kiss without kissing?
All right. So now we're going to use the magic of our friend here on camera to help us. You're going to come in, look at each other. Or look just to the side of her eye. Breathe out.
Well, that was very educational. Coming up, how much do I enjoy our guests? Well, a whole lot. We'll show you after the break.
Welcome back. We've had the opportunity to interview many celebrities, but for me, Chelsea Handler was the season standout.
Can you share a couple of childhood stories that really shaped you?
Oh yeah, I mean, like when I was 8, I started a lemonade stand, but I knew that wasn't gonna bring in enough cash for the lifestyle that I wanted for myself. So I started a hard lemonade stand where I served gin, whiskey, and tequila to the parents. Like I said to my sister, like, let's go and think outside the box. You know, parents have to hang out with their children. They're bike riding with them. We were in Martha's Vineyard on a summer vacation, and I was like, let's load the parents up with alcohol. They're gonna come back and like realize this is the spot. And so we made a fortune doing that. And then I got to a point in like when I was younger where the lemonade stand was bringing in a lot of income, but my body was starting to come in, you know, and my little buds were bursting. And I thought it was better for me to take my body off the streets at that point. And then I started a lemonade. I started a babysitting company, but I was like, okay, because I was a child laborer, so you can't really like work legally, so you have to think of workarounds. I'm like, babysitting, there are no rules around that. I can babysit for a 3-year-old. Who cares?
Yeah.
But when I was 10, I looked like I was older. So I said I was 15, and I called all the hotels on Martha's Vineyard, and I was like, hi, my name is Chelsea Handler. I'm 15 years old. I'm available for babysitting. And I spent that summer as a 10-year-old babysitting for a 14-year-old boy.
That's incredible.
That is the best story ever.
Yeah, his name was Jeremy. And then I continued. We hit it off so well, and we had such a rapport that I ended up babysitting him from the time I was 10 to 12. And he was, by the time I got done with him, he was 17.
What's the criteria for you when you're dating? And where do you meet men? And can I come?
Yeah, wherever. I mean, I meet them wherever. I have friends set me up a lot with people because now I just put it out there. I'm like, yeah, I'm down. I want to meet guys. I want to meet guys.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of adventure. I'm never in one place for very long. And I don't feel any requirement to be settling down or anything like that. That's the opposite of the kind of life I want to lead. And so I'm open to all sorts of men from different areas, to have multiple
bros
boyfriends.
in different areas.
And have it casual and not have to be committed. And if I fall in love, great.
Yeah.
But there's no, I don't have to set out and be like, I'm going to find a partner right now. I like to have fun, and I want to have, a good vibe about it. It's not that serious to me, So I think women sometimes we can take ourselves so seriously because there's so much societal pressure about procreating and marrying and your value. It's like, that's not where our value only comes from. We have value in other areas.
Well,
And my value comes directly from my nipples, okay? Don't forget that.
Amen.
Nobody forget that.
Well, Chelsea was a great guest, but every once in a while I like to get my flirt on, and sometimes it happens on camera with some of our guests. I can't help it, and you're about to see all the times I didn't hold back.
I think makeup has been given too much credit that we're starting to get away from it, because people pretend like when you put on makeup that somehow you're being elevated in terms of your beauty, and that's not true. Okay,
it's creative.
It's creative.
Yeah.
It's almost like an art piece. But there's no one who doesn't have makeup and then goes to makeup and everyone's like, "Whoa, there's this big difference." It's a lie.
You know what?
It's a lie. People pretend.
Meet me 20 minutes after the show, and my dear, let's talk.
Lies. You are one of the most beautiful women I know. You don't need makeup.
That's very nice. That's very nice. I'm still. I know. Okay. He was fishing. He was fishing. I still dare you. I still dare you. 20 minutes. You could yell. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, we have a show. Sorry, we have a.
Sorry to break things up, guys.
Flirting is good for you. It's healthy, but as long as when I read this, I'm like, as long as when we say couple, that it is equal, that both sides are feeling the same way. And I think the definition of flirting is different for some people. Some people, what they think is flirting, I think is just friendliness, while other people, their flirting is like, you're being disrespectful to your relationship now.
Right.
Come back to your date's table.
Right.
You shouldn't need to see her with another man for you to come back and pay attention to her. So I think it just depends, but let's move on before I get myself in trouble. I know, honey, I see. Don't worry, I see you. Hold my hand while I read this one. So when it comes to hand-holding...
Chris, say pull it. Say pull it.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Is this what you do with your lady friend? Is this considered romantic?
This is not considered romantic. This is considered foreplay, I think.
If I like you and we're on a date and I'm enjoying this and I want this to continue, you are Eddie Murphy funny to me. And I will do the full performance. It's unconscious where I'll just be like, oh my gosh, you are Roy, you are too much. Because I want to touch you and see what the muscle situation is happening. Right? It's the whole performance like, oh my gosh, Roy, you, oh my gosh, you're killing me. You're killing me. Oh my God, Roy, you too much. much. It's all in the flirtation.
So what's the fake laugh? Then what's the fake laugh?
I can't tell you that. I can't give you those secrets.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
This is good.
Right? It's all in the performance, but the further my head goes back and the harder I hold my stomach, probably the faker the laugh.
Okay.
Because my real laugh is not a cute laugh. But yeah, it's all in the flirting. If you're having a good time, you want that person to also feel like that you're having a good time. So you do exaggerate everything. The hair flips, the whole thing, the laughing.
So it's innocent
You think
in a
I
way.
really sit with my legs crossed like this? Like I want to open my legs like this so badly, but I can't right now. It's all in the presentation. Roy, I want to talk to you like this, but I'm a lady on a date. So
You are hilarious. I think we need to have a counter on the show. I think we just started something because you touch so many of our male guests, and I dig it, by the way. I think we're gonna have to have one of those little check marks. Yeah, that's wow. What's happening?
I support it.
We support it.
She was laughing at my jokes.
He gets it. He gets it.
Are there any other men that look like you in Winnipeg? Because I'm. Do you want to slow dance? And then when you take their hand, you're like, now we're in business. So then you start slow dancing, right? And this is where you can have the conversation. This is where you can see how much they like you. You know that. Do it with me.
But you
know,
can't. Oh my God.
You know, right?
Yeah.
You just do this. So,
Yeah.
which school do you go to? What are your hobbies?
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes you sing the careless whisper. Oh my God, I love that one! Right? And then at the end of the dance, you're like, so can we exchange numbers? You need the slow song to finish.
Do you know what the scary thing is, though?
Deal.
And this is a true story. Everyone who I ever slow danced with, I fall in love.
Of course. Because it's so.
Something to ask you. Andrea, do you want to go steady? Andrea, I am honored to be on your list of hot people you've flirted with. We have a 3-minute break if you'd like to slow dance in the meantime.
Of course.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Welcome back. Okay, so ladies, this was so much fun to take a little trip down memory lane with all of you, but we know that season 12 is just around the corner, so what are you most looking forward to?
Ooh, more blind dates. Tune in.
Yes, Jess?
And for me, more adventures out in the field as a correspondent.
Oh, I love that.
So hop on that. I want us all to do a cross-Canada adventure.
Yes!
Meet audience members across this wonderful country.
Oh, the kids call that manifesting.
Oh, manifesting.
Put that out there. While we're manifesting, more celebrity action.
Yeah.
More celebs. I think this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, listen, catch up on season 12 of The Social. It all starts September the 4th at 2 p.m. right here on CTV. See you next time.